That one's recording now?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, you guys just wanted to go for it.
We just going
no
for
plan.
It. No plan.
There's no
organically flow.
Yeah, not even a name for this.
No
podcast,
paper.
No papers.
Format.
No
phones.
Welcome audience.
Welcome everyone
to the podcast. Nothing like that.
You got it.
What if it was just the podcast? No, I'm just kidding.
I do have to set a timer. I forgot to set the timer.
The
set the timer
with us.
The podcast
With
the Healing Tree podcast.
Three of us.
Oh, are you gonna choose the Healing Tree podcast?
Well, that's what you guys said.
Whatever happens, I trust.
Trust the process.
I trust the process.
Trust the process.
But we are here finally.
Starting this podcast.
On January 16th, 2026. And we are gonna finally chit chat.
Yeah.
About what?
Let's talk Reiki.
Let's talk Reiki.
About spirituality.
Sure.
Woo-woo stuff.
Sure.
Your face.
Sure.
Woo-woo stuff.
Let's talk about meditation.
Yes.
See, this is why we needed a plan, you guys. This is why.
You need to trust, okay?
Yeah.
So obviously, we are here with Mayuly today.
Yes.
Hi.
And I do want to emphasize that Mayuly has been with us since the beginning of when we chose
Since the beginning of time.
Since
a year ago.
And 3 months now.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
A year and 3 months.
Wow.
But when we decided to create our own team of practitioners and totally completely change the whole business model, what we're doing. And I just want to also emphasize before you start to share about what you do and your time here or how it's evolved and all the things is that one of the things that I feel was really cool about when we decided to change everything around is that because we had been in this space for 2 years, we knew what we did want and what we didn't want, right? And so I remember when we did our interview with you, it was really...
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Like it was yesterday. Yes.
Yeah, and it was nice
I was
to
sitting
hear.
in my car.
Yeah. Oh,
my
yeah.
phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah. And to just like feel like that it was very much an alignment for you and like little things like, oh, you know, I do this because I want to help other people. It's not about the money, you know, and it's like, it was one thing that we really emphasized, you know? So it's just really nice to know that, we were able to find people that were aligned, one, and two, like you've been with us since the beginning. And so that's been really cool to watch like your class evolve and like you offering even more extended out of your Reiki and arena. I don't know how to say that.
And also too, like to give the idea an opportunity to see if it'll actually grow, right? Like if we didn't have people to stay long enough or committed long enough, like then we would never actually be able to see if this would actually work, you know, because I think that this is still, even though I think it's like maybe not so much of a new idea, it's still kind of a new idea to like bring together the variety of modalities, the practitioners that we know are, you know, for the most part, like the norm is like you have your own business, your own clientele, like that's kind of the path for most practitioners. And to say that like we're bringing them all together to and all the different modalities together and then to work under like I guess like one space, that's all kind of a whole new idea in the whole like spiritual community.
Oh,
you know, so like
also the whole affordability and accessibility.
That part too,
like
because
that.
Because I think that's where like if we didn't have people like you and everybody else that came in the beginning and even now to say like, okay, yeah, I will accept, you know, a flat rate per my class and I believe in doing that, but then also to like the bigger vision of like doing it together and that together we can reach more people and we can grow much bigger, right? Although like even though the I guess like the money part, like it's still something that we're still learning and navigating, right? Like how to do this and how to make it like sustainable and affordable for the people, right? Because I think that's the most important part of this all. Otherwise, like if this was all heavy on the practitioner and like let's help with the practitioner as much as we can and let's help them make as much money as possible.
Right.
We learned what that turned into. It was the space was not going to be a sustainable place for us to keep doing it.
And for me, at the end of the day, it was like, how are we actually serving the community?
The people, right? And so like we shifted from practitioner focused to then community people focused. And as we do that, I feel like it'll give us the opportunity to then be more practitioner focused. And how can we, because it's still a big part of my personal ambition to like create a sustainable place for practitioners to like work and grow and for more opportunities to come from this.
He is the visionary, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow.
Totally.
He absolutely is.
Totally.
Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway, we are very grateful to have had you.
I am so excited to not only be here, but I mean, this is my second home now. So yeah, I feel like you guys are my family. I feel like now, talking about the evolution of things, I feel like now we have a community. We have people that are regularly coming back and, seeing change. And you're right. I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for, the community.
For all of us.
Yes. And I'm very just excited to keep growing and keep developing new offerings and new opportunities for people to understand that spirituality is important, a practice of something is important, and then having a space where they can come and feel safe and being able to go through their healing process is also important. So
yeah. And I just realized right now, I was like, wow, that's like the discipline in you having your class for a whole year before you created a new offering.
Yeah.
I just realized that.
God, me too.
You committed
crazy.
to the one class for a whole year.
That's
like,
true. That's true.
That is something so
it's
freaking
like planting
rare.
the seeds.
Yeah.
And now I'm building, I feel like, from that foundation.
Yeah.
Which I want to talk about too, because again, eventually we'll talk about it, but like that's the path. Like, I think that like, hopefully we can create a pathway, like for people, like, not just try to do it all at once and then expect like for it to happen overnight either, like establish your ground first, like, with one class, like get people coming, get people keep coming back. And like, I've shared with you many times, like, oh, like, we've talked about adding another class, or we talked about like just different strategy around like, all right, how do we actually do that though without like, like I've shared with you before, like fishing in the same pond, right? Like constantly fishing in the same pond, because eventually like that's gonna lower your pool of customers to then like show up to your other class, like build that up. And when you start to like see it overflowing, then it's time to open up the next class or another time or whatever, right? And then let that kind of naturally, organically flow into the next class, because and then it creates like then you create a kind of a problem for yourself where you're trying to fill two classes, but you still don't have the pool of returning customers or people to your one class, right? You know what I mean? So like that's more of my strategic mind, I guess, that comes into play with awesome. Like trying not to get too ahead of ourselves with growing,
Well, let me just simplify all that to, it just takes time to build a community.
It does.
It does.
And
you know what? It takes trust.
Yes.
I don't just go to whoever, I think like the people that come to my class, your class, I mean, they know what they're going to get.
Yeah.
And I think they trust, they trust in the facilitator, they trust in the energy, that is built in each class. So I think that's important too, the trust.
What do you think? Okay, the trust is one. Like, how do you feel like is the, what's the most important thing that you feel like how do you create that trust? Like, how do you do that? Like what, for sure, like your class has been the most like successful in the sense that like, people see it, like people always kind of like comment on like, oh, mind body reset, like they see that, even though they may not know they're new, like they see that and it's kind of like, oh, I think I need that, and then but like that's one part of the battle.
Well, I'd want to speak on the fact that people return consistently.
That's what's going next. Yeah.
And not even about the name, because I feel like that was something that, remember, at first we're like, do we change the name?
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure. But
do we
it's
make
like,
it more simple, like Reiki and meditation,
and
like
sound,
just and sound?
Yeah, but it's the fact that people keep
coming back,
return.
Yeah, so like that's one part of the battle, and I think that's one thing that most practitioners don't understand. And I think that how do you get people to keep coming back? Like that's where the real magic happens, I feel.
I think so, yeah. Well, first of all, I love what I do. So every time I show up 100%, 3000%, I would say. And then I like to create the experience, right? Like the music, the Reiki energy. Like I get here early, I set up the room. There's prayer and blessings going in even before people get here, right? And I keep a very clear, clean spirituality. And, you know, like I make sure that I'm okay to be able to lead others, you know? It's not like I don't go through challenges. I do, but it's like you need to be working on yourself, you know, and kind of like understanding yourself and your craft and the way that you show up as a facilitator. So to me, integrity is very important, that I'm making sure that I'm showing up fully present. And then I keep it, you know, educational. So I give information about what is Reiki, your chakra system, you know, different things. They feel safe, you know, the music, the instruments, like I said, everything that I do it with intention. So I think people can feel that. People can feel when you're authentic. People can feel when you're fake too, when you're not doing it from the heart. So I think that is where the magic happens. You need to love what you do. And yeah, there are moments where I'm like, oh, you know, maybe I'm tired, or oh my God, I got 15 people in my class and I have to give, you know, I have those moments, but then what am I doing to take care of myself, right? Before and after, right? So giving energy, you know, after, I know that the next day I need to do something to fill my cup, you know, and make sure that I'm taking care of myself. So,
and that's what people don't understand, I think. I don't know if you're going to say something, but I was just going to comment on that like, I know that I feel like my focus hasn't been so much on highlighting, you know, practitioners and like the work that you guys do, and not only just within the class, but like outside of the class, you know, like there's so much, like, what do you call it? You're undervalued, you know, like so much undervalued, value, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, but like there's so much just like undervaluing of what practitioners do to create the spaces and those containers that you guys create outside of, like, you know, making sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're constantly working on your craft, right? Like those are the unseen things that I think most people don't really appreciate, and
people
it
don't
seems
see that.
Simple.
You know, they don't see that. They just see when I show up, right?
Exactly.
That's the result.
You make this, and then you make it look easy. So it's like
that's what I say. You know, that to me is spirituality, right? They see the other side of my practice, right? My personal practice when I'm showing up, right? But no one sees behind the scene, right? So, like I said, it's not like I don't go through challenges. Is I have learned the navigation, you know, the journey. It's not about the outcome, but the journey. And as long as I'm taking care of myself and I'm making sure that I'm okay, I think I can offer that from that space, you know? I can go outward now.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say right now, is that like, well, a practitioner is someone who practices.
Correct.
That's what a practitioner is.
Yeah.
Right.
And back to what you were saying about like the authenticity, the integrity, you know, like how are you showing up for your own self?
That's right.
How are you doing your own work?
Right.
Because that's ultimately what builds that capacity to hold space for a group of people.
Right.
And we all know that here at the Healing Tree, it's not just superficial stuff. You don't just come in and you're like, oh, this is fun. Like yeah, we always do have a great time together. Yes, right?
Yes.
But
We do.
we get
There we go.
deeper. You know, we hold space for real life things. So
Yes.
if you're not holding space for yourself, if you're not being supported by others, if you're not facing things that come up to your face that are asking you to go deeper, how are you gonna be someone to hold space for other people, you know? And again, like what you were saying, what was it, the thing that we saw the other day that it said, like, it's not the tools, it's the intention behind the tools.
Right.
Like, I remember I learned that early on because I thought like I needed these certain things. You know, I would get so nervous when I was starting to like hold bigger spaces, and I thought I needed these things. And I remember I had this moment where I was like, no, screw that. I don't need any of this stuff. Like I need me,
to
you
be
know?
okay.
Yeah. And so then it was this beautiful place of trusting myself, but also knowing like that's not, some things I do believe are more aesthetic. Some things can make you feel a certain way, and there is a place for different things, right? I think I'm saying a lot of things without saying a lot of things. But what
are you saying?
Get to the point.
Get to the point.
But yes, it's, do you have everything in you that you need?
Of course.
Yes, we do, right? And also, we show up in these spaces with everything that we need because of everything that we've gone through and what we've learned and the
like
support.
lived experience.
Yes, the lived experiences. And not only that, but it's one thing to say like, oh, I've gone through a lot of stuff and that was hard.
Yeah.
It's another to be like, I went through this stuff. I went through my own deep dive of like hardcore stuff.
What are the lessons that you're learning, right?
That's the baloney part that I find though is like
baloney. Tell me more.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Do you like
about
baloney?
this
Now we got
baloney.
curious.
Do you like
You got my
baloney?
attention.
Because I'm gonna give you all the baloney right here.
You know, I haven't had baloney in a very long time.
Well, that's what I think is baloney is that like, okay, so yes, you have lived experience. That doesn't make it, you know, right or like, not that it like, it doesn't qualify you still to then hold spaces and create and be a practitioner, because I think that's what I see a lot of, like they people or practitioners now today is like they use those things and like, oh, I've been through so much, or like, oh, I've been working on myself, and now they're stepping into this space of like then being a practitioner. So it's like, I don't know, like what is, yes, I think lived experience is a huge part, like, because otherwise you can't relate, you can't connect,
Correct.
you can't, you know, have these like deep, or to be able to navigate like the deeper waters with people, right? Like if you've never experienced anything that's, which I think we all have, but I think that not everybody has like actually done the work of like, how did you overcome those you know situations or those experiences, like, you know, I think that I just think that like people are too quick to use their lived experience to then qualify them to be a practitioner. You know, it's part of it.
I think that there are many components though, because you know you have to have education. Yes. Right? You have to have the experience, and I feel like to be able to facilitate and hold that space, you also need to be, there is something that you're born with, you know. I feel like it's a gift. I feel like not everyone has the ability to
be like nurturing or something.
Nurturing and, you know, providing a safe space, you know. So I feel like it could be different components. And I always remind my people, and you know, because you've been in my class, I said, you came here with a divine appointment. You didn't come to see me. You came because you're taking care of yourself. You're showing up for yourself, right? So because facilitators can also be put in a pedestal as we never go through stuff. And I want to clarify, we do. But the people that are really doing the work, like we just said, you know, it shows. You know, that's all I'm going to say. It shows. And I think that you know, there could be more compassion towards, you know, facilitators that are showing up fully, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And with integrity. So, but yeah, I agree with you in the sense that it's not just the experience. I think you have to have the education. You have to know what you're saying. You need to know what spaces we're going deep with these people. I know I am, right? So I need to really have the education Like, let's say somebody starts crying, right, during a Reiki treatment, which had happened in our class. You know, they're having a huge release. How can I handle that? You know, can I handle that? Am I capable of doing those things? So yes, I am. But if I wouldn't have the education and how to deal with that, you know, then that could become even a distraction. You know, it could become
or it could
an
get
issue.
worse.
Yeah, people go home open, you know, people go home vulnerable.
Oh my gosh.
So,
and then to
That's
feel
happened
like
to me few times, I'd say.
What?
Well, when I started with breathwork. With breathwork, like I'd go, dude. There was times where like, I felt like fucking suicidal.
Well, this is
dude.
gonna take us a different route.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I'm
no,
not gonna
no,
go there.
go
but
ahead.
Like,
I'm just saying.
the next.
I'm just saying.
Even though
rerouting.
like I'm grateful for the experience, I'm also grateful for like how resilient I am because I was like able to just, I guess, manage it on my own. But like there was just times where like I didn't know who to fucking reach out to, and I needed like something to tell me why do I feel so depressed, like you know, like why?
And that's how I found Reiki. You know, that's part of my story. I was going through a deep transformation and I didn't understand anything at all. Right. And I was going through divorce. I was just in a very dark place. Everything was ripped. Like all the identities, right, were ripped. And that's how I found Reiki through Googling healing modalities.
Wow.
You know, like I knew I needed to do something. I knew I need help, but I don't know who to go to. So Reiki, you know, popped and I clicked and I went to, you know, the Reiki master that is one of my teachers and I love her still. She lives here in Phoenix and it's just, you know, like that was the starting point for me in all this, you know.
Yeah. And actually to highlight a little bit like, well, both of you is that, so it's okay. Had you had like the healing tree, you know, where you had consistent classes or consistent classes available, affordable, so that you could
come
options.
check it out.
But so that you could come to support you with what breathwork like brought up for you, had that not changed, you know? And so, for example, like, you know, some people actually see you one-on-one and then they might come to My Body Reset on Wednesdays because that's like integrate, like the integration part, right?
Most definitely.
So like that is also a part of why we wanted to build the healing tree how we did, right? Is because we do need those moments of integration. Maybe you're going to therapy and you need to come and practice what it does actually feel in your body when you're practicing mindfulness or stillness or whatever you're working on in, you know, your therapy, right? But so that is what I think has been so beautiful to also see, again, speaking to like people who you've seen one-on-one and then they can come to classes and, you know, to all of them really, but like, it's really cool for them to feel that supported in that way because yes, you get ripped open like that. And then you're like, I don't know what to do with myself. This is a lot. And then it scares you. And then you might want to shut it all back down, you know?
Yes. And that's what is important to me, to stay connected with them. You know, I've never been the coach that you do a session and then goodbye. I can't operate like that just because I know that these people are going to need the extra support. So I'm always reaching out to you after the session, you know, after the classes I do still, you know, do. And if I don't see you in class, you will get my message, you know, and that's how people are like, oh my, thanks for, you know, your text and I'll be there tonight, you know? So I keep a close eye on, you know, my people. And it has been, just going back to the first question, it has been super transformational and really, really supported of my growth and my purpose as a facilitator to be here.
What was the first question?
The question about how was your experience starting here?
Yeah, I mean that's really cool. I feel like
what a good question.
No, really.
Thanks. What's the first question?
Because so then you know back to that question because that and how rare that is to find within this spiritual community industry, quote unquote, whatever, is like why is that missing so much? You know, like why has it been so challenging to find people to just commit to one thing? You know, is it because you know, for me personally, I've always heard like, oh, it's not in alignment anymore. It's like, well, what the heck? Because to me, that none of that made sense. It's like you commit and you commit. That's it. Like you want something, you want something. And either you really didn't want it, and maybe it was an illusion that's something that you wanted. Maybe is that what's not in alignment? But it's just been like such a challenge to find people that say they want something and that they're committed to doing this work and you know, guiding other people, and then just committing to making this happen, you know. But,
yeah, I think people changed and evolved, you know. So
it's a complex question.
It is. It is loaded. By the way,
it's very loaded.
Well, it's not even a question. I'm just saying it's just an observation.
Loaded observation.
It's a loaded observation.
What do you think? Like alignment has to do with it a little bit, right? You like
yes. I do feel that there is, you know, of course, like, you know, when you feel something in you and you know if something's aligned and something is not aligned, you know.
Yeah.
Yes. I think the problem
really
is
a hard thing for me to understand.
No, I think the problem is that we mix up alignment. Okay, I don't know. This is not. I think I'm feeling something come through.
Drop it.
Okay.
We've
confused alignment with excitement. I think.
Well, they can be because they sound very similar.
That's not why. That's not what I meant.
They sound kind of similar.
So
there's this idea, and you're like, wow, I envision myself doing this, and I think that'd be great. And I do think the ego has a little bit of part in that, right? That you're like, ooh, like I could do this, and and so you think it's exciting, but when something is not in true alignment, I do feel that excitement is gonna die off. Whereas when something is in alignment, you're going to feel it in you. You're going to pursue it even when you're like, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you're going to keep going.
That's when it...
I think consistency is what comes to me too, you know?
Yes.
Have you ever had moments where like, this isn't going to work?
Of course.
So then why
what do you mean?
Like you,
here?
Here.
Anything in general.
Shit. I was like, never mind.
I had never.
You were about to prove my point.
No, I had never questioned that. I had never questioned that.
Never mind.
Actually, the question would be: is not how is this not? What was the question?
Yeah, if it's not going to work
like
out.
This isn't going to work.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Right, but I think I let that go. You know, I let that, because that comes from an expectation, right? In my opinion, like what am I expecting, you know? But I feel like consistency in showing up is the result of alignment, in my opinion. Consistency of showing up is the result of your alignment, because if that is not aligned, you won't show up. And there will be no consistency, right? So I think for me, it's like consistently talking about this, educating people, you know, and consistently showing up. And the alignment becomes more and more clear, you know. There are very few moments where I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know where we're going, but what's happening. But I feel like I have trust, you know, and the transformations of the people that are coming are unique and they're happening. Yeah. And if that wasn't happening, they'll be like, okay,
we're doing something wrong here.
Right. But people are like really changing and loving the community and coming back and all the things that we already spoke. So I think consistency and alignment go together, you know?
Yeah.
And excitement is part of the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, also, what kind of foundation are you building that, you know, as a practitioner too, you know, like what's your foundation, you know, what's like, yes, I agree in energy, you know, and I definitely do not want anyone here that it doesn't align with the energy or the frequency of the vision of what we're going. But yeah, I think that is possible to be in alignment when you are consistent, you know, and you are like showing up.
So the other thing I was going to say too is that,
but I wanna ask you though more about that excitement and that alignment. Because I don't think you finished your thought.
Well, I think the first thing that I thought,
I think the excitement comes from ego.
Yeah,
that's what you said.
Yeah.
But I'm excited and I'm aligned.
Yes. But the excitement is not the only thing that's driving you. No, it's your alignment.
Definitely not.
But I think, and I'm pretty sure maybe, because I know I can say for myself, there have been moments where you may not be excited, about it. Like I think that there's been hard moments. I mean, there's been hard moments for me. Maybe there's been hard moments for you to like keep going and stay consistent and showing up every week, and then still like, you know, not only just showing up for your class every week, but like wanting to do more, you know, wanting to keep like investing into doing more. Like that's, I'm just saying, like, I don't think that you're always excited. So like, even if the excitement is not there this week, like if something is still in alignment, you're going to keep pushing through that.
Right. Because I think it's all about showing up for me, you know, that's it. You know, how are you showing up, you know, in all the areas in your life, you know? So as a facilitator, it's super important that I keep showing up. You know,
in any area.
Again, consistency. In any area, you know. So excitement to me is more like, it goes away. You know, like it comes and goes. You know, depending on the day, and that's okay. You know.
To me, that's like
I feel like it could be also a steady thing, and where the excitement, when it gets low, it doesn't have to be that low. You know, that you're able to pick yourself back up, and show up still. You know?
I feel like that's like a very, the words that come up is like a very embodied practitioner, because I think a lot of practitioners live in the ethers, and, you know,
that's a good place to be, you know, once in a while.
Every once in a while, for sure. Like,
of course.
You definitely, that's where maybe you draw inspiration and maybe some of that excitement. But like when you're grounded in freaking planet Earth, and planet Earth is, and you know, real life is showing you that, like, damn, something that happens over here and you know, in another area of your life that then is going to affect all these other areas of your life, but you're still showing up, you know, you're still going through it.
It's part of the human experience, you know. We're not like angels. Only you are angel, but you know, we're not like,
because I think that like
we're not like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the reason I said also it's a very complex or loaded
observation
is that you have to understand that
shit happens.
No, that this kind of line of work, or however you want to explain it, is so deep and personal. So there could be such a big like journey of self-discovery that you have to go through, you know, that you don't know. And until you try it and you're like, oh, this is actually not a good fit for me. And you have to make that choice to be like, never mind. Whereas for your brain, you're like, what the heck? You didn't commit to it and you need to like try it out. You know what I mean? Which makes sense, right? Going. Yes. And that's part of it. And that's something that I've had to like, accept that, like, in this line of work, like for us, when we're hiring people, like I have to be okay with, they can say yes right now, and in a few months they might be like, this is not working out for me. And that's just because that's where they are in their lives. And it's like
an independent journey, you know. It doesn't have to do with what we do here.
Right. And so there's that part, and then I do think there is the other part, and I think the reason why the excitement thing came up for me too is that right now a lot of people are doing these modalities, a lot of people are wanting to get these certifications, a lot of people are wanting to do these things. So there is, you have to admit, although we know this has been here forever, I hate to use this word, but a little bit is trendy. You know what I mean? And so then there's this excitement. Oh, I think I could do that. Oh, I think I'd like to do that. And then let me add all these things. And then, of course, maybe for some, they can do all of them. You know, it's such a different individualized thing, right? But I do think that sometimes happens. And also, I feel like there could be a calling in you that you're like, I don't want to do this and I'm not excited about it, but I know I'm supposed to do this. That's why I feel like alignment is something really that you can feel within.
Do you think you're not excited about it, or you think you're fearful?
That could also be another one, right?
Okay, so then you're like having the fear of like, oh my God, I'm stepping into the next level for me.
Yes.
That I have felt, right? Like, of course, a little bit of fear, but I still do it. You know? And I have a lot of fun.
Well, even like the sound baths, right? Like I was like, no, I don't want to do this, you know? And I was like, this is not what, it wasn't my part of my plan. I didn't want to do this, you know? And so, I went into it thinking like, what the heck am I doing, you know? But to me, that was like a this is what I need to be doing right now. You know,
Right.
like when you just know,
Yes.
I don't know. But I also think, again, like the whole excitement and all that stuff. And then that's where you have to ask yourself, this is where the integrity piece is so important, that people will feel in the room no matter what, no matter how much you try to disguise it. Is this like, what is my why? Why am I doing this? Why does this matter to me? You know, why am I, do
Who
I
am I
actually
doing it
care?
for?
Like, yes, who am I doing it for? Like, for real though, like not just don't say the answer that you know somebody else would want to hear.
Yeah.
Why do you really want to do this? You know, that's where I feel,
And when things get hard, what's
right, you're
what's
gonna
your
keep
why
showing
then?
up. Yeah, you're gonna keep showing up.
Is it still
so
the same?
I feel like that's where I do wonder, you know, if some people don't ask themselves those questions and they go through the motions because that's what they should be doing or what other people are doing, you know. But again, I'm kind of going off on a whole different tangent here. But
okay.
I think that's I think a question that you should always ask yourself like it should be like an alarm or something on your calendar is why.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? Why do I care? You know?
And
And
keep
that
going.
goes back with intention. You
Yes.
know, what's the intention of it all? You know?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. For me, it's not for me, it's for them. You know,
Right,
whoever
right.
shows up. So yeah.
How do you feel, or why do you feel like, what's been like the most like, what are the biggest things that you feel, for one, like that you saw here, and what that's been keeping you going, like that has carried you through, like in any of like the hard moments, like what do you feel like keeps you motivated in continuing to work here? Because I think that, and not only like doing it as a team, right? Like that's a big thing here, is that like we're coming together and we're doing something together, because I think that's the hard concept that
Right.
I think most practitioners don't want, because yeah, technically, and I see this in other spaces too, like, you know, and whether it be like photography or videography work, right? Like you can be a freelancer and you can just have your own clientele of photo clients,
Sure.
and you know you'll be fine. But why go work with a team and a part of a company? You
Yeah.
know, like why do that
Yeah.
versus having your own thing? Which I mean, we still do. That's the
Right,
idea,
yeah,
right?
right.
Like
She's just
we have-
both.
I
Yeah.
do.
we
I
have
do
your own thing, and
both.
like, but why do you still
Yeah.
keep it? Why do you still keep investing here?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be honest, because I don't have any other way to be, but I know that what I do has been given to me as a gift through my ancestors, and that is what I believe. I have a very unique gift to give. So it would be really silly of me to keep hiding in the back. I did that for years, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm able to show up. I believe in myself. I believe that I'm not doing this because May thought that it was a good idea. This is divine, you know, for me, and I respect that. So I listen to that call. And the reflection that I get back is people coming back, is people going to transformations, clients booking, getting excited about events. And the most important part, we're changing lives, you know? So that's kind of like important to me. So I think that I have faith that what I do has been given, and I would like to share it with the world, you know? And I was in hiding, you know, in hibernation for a very long time. No one knew what I was doing, you know, things like that. And now it's like, no, I think the world needs to know who I am, you know? So I'm in a different vibration, a different frequency. And I think people can also feel, you know, that.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
and of course, I feel like what you guys offer here aligned, you know, since our first interview, aligned with, you know, kind of like my ancestors again, and where I come from, you know, the Latino root, and also like the
Standing up for the brown people doing this.
of like earthy things that, you know, I feel like I bring to the table, like drums, instruments, you know, different things. So it's just like, it feels like home to me, you know, it feels like I belong here, and it shows.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that, I mean, that's one of
So-
the big things too, right? Like that we noticed, and I don't know how much we want to get into this controversial side of, you know,
He's going.
He's going.
of like, you know, all this stuff, but we weren't seeing people who look like us that own spaces like this.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And so I think that was a huge part in what we wanted to stand for here as we stepped into it. You know, it was like something that I remember we went to go eat one time and it was just me and you. And like, I remember that whole like 2 weeks, I was furious because I was like, what the fuck? Like once again, because I mean, when we came here, it was like deep immersion into, all right, what's going on here? What is this all about? Who's doing what? How are they doing it? Like all on Instagram, looking at everybody's profiles, looking at all the different things that were offered here. And all that I saw were people that didn't look like us, you know? And I was like furious because I was like, again, what the fuck? Like once again, these things, these practices that have, you know, roots
in a lot of our lineages,
in a lot of our culture, and not only our culture but other cultures that aren't being done by the people of those cultures, you know. And I was like,
and not to say they can't,
right.
However, it's like, why?
But why aren't we being represented?
Well, it's in me.
It's equal
That's
representation.
Kind of what I'm trying to say. It's in my bloodline. So it's not like I'm, you know, trying to reinvent the wheel here. You know,
right. It's almost like you don't have to go learn anything. You go in here and you're like, my roots are here.
Right.
My ancestors are here. You know, the medicine is here. You know, but I think for me, like just to touch on that because we went there, so we're going there, that it really messed with me for a long time, like where I felt like if you want to give it a name, we're going to give it imposter syndrome, right?
Oh yeah.
And so we're going to say that just because that's what people are mostly familiar with.
Okay.
But it was this idea of like me as a brown woman, you know, should not be doing this. Like, who are you to be doing this? Because you know, this shit is real when it's ingrained in you that you aren't a person, especially as a woman, you know, as a business owner, as an authority figure, as a leader, like, girl, like, what are you doing? You know? And then when you see everybody else doing this and they don't look like you, and then you start to think like, I don't belong here, which is something that is absolutely generational trauma, absolutely is so real until we choose to heal that and say, no, we do belong. We do belong. This is my space. I get to do this. And more of our people, more of everyone's people, come on, because it should be for everyone.
Correct.
Gets to come together. But oh my gosh, the work that I had to do with that, which was so insane to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, that's why it's such a blessing sometimes when you're put in these situations that you're like, this is so hard and I want to run away and I feel uncomfortable. Blah, blah, blah. And then you're like, wait, why?
Right.
Why is this so hard? Like, what have I been taught? What have I been shown? You know? And, you know, I don't know if it's like, the other thing that I've learned is my relationship with humility, that I don't know if it's because our culture teaches us so much. Humility is be quiet, be good, like do good, give everything of yourself, you know, and all these things.
Don't say anything.
Don't like, ask for more.
No, all of these things that it was very confusing to be like, why I want to just keep being a humble person. And then you're like, wait. Humility does not mean you hide, you stay quiet, you can get stepped on. No, humility doesn't mean you suffer. No. And these are the things that we have to work on every single damn day to say, I get to be here. I belong here.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
You're right. I just feel like since I was little, I always knew it was different, you know, like I knew that there was something different about me and just in the way that I express myself. Anyway, I am very different.
You are very different.
My hair is different every day too. So it's like, I don't know, you know, what today is orange color. It's just the way that I express, I think, myself. So but I agree with you. I think I healed too that wound, you know, from my bloodline of no showing up. I think that was the main wound, you know, like why am I hiding? You know, what's up with that? You know, my voice matters. What I need to say matter. I'm educated. I have, you know, everything that I need to facilitate the classes. So why not to do it? You know, so the question is why would I not? You know, it's not what are you doing, and it's why would I not do it? You know, and you know, for all those people that are watching, why you're not coming to the class, you know, is the question. You know, the question is not, you know, what are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your healing? You know, what are you doing on Wednesday night at 6:30 or, you know, Sunday
or all throughout the week?
Yeah,
you know,
like what's happening? You know,
Yeah.
why you're not using what we, you know, offer here.
That
you know?
like that is a very real thing too, is that like we are getting to see more diverse,
right?
you know, groups of people come, and I feel like
and the group that I still want to see
what
is the gender group of men.
Oh my god.
Well, we have 2 facilitators that are male.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Or I mean, as practitioners, yes.
Yeah. Oh,
As
you mean in the
people
community?
In the community.
Yeah.
No, there's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of practitioners that are men for sure. And it's the community, the people.
Yeah.
But I mean all people, you know,
Yeah.
like
Everything.
all people
For
from
sure.
all
Yes.
backgrounds, from all genders, you know,
All
like from
yeah.
everything, right?
Yeah.
But I do think there are some cultures that like, and I feel that way with mine, is that like it's very much taught from the very beginning that like, yeah, like this feeling of not belonging, right? So then it's like, oh, if they don't look like me, they're going to reject me, or I don't belong, or I'm absolutely not. I'm not going to go, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
It takes a lot of courage
Yeah.
to show up to something,
Right.
and
Not know.
especially if you're part of that culture,
If you
right?
have that
you
wound.
have that wound, yes.
Right.
So I felt like for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I mean, yeah, sure, it'd be wonderful if we had more Latinos, you know, brown people to come, because that's what we are. So we reflect that, and we have had those comments that they're like, well, I came because you're the owner, you know what I mean? Because they're like, I see myself in you and I feel comfortable, but I would love, you know, all the colors, like to be immersed.
Correct.
Like that's ideally what I would love to see, you know,
so we can learn,
because
and
that's how we
heal.
And that's
Yeah.
what I think the team we have right now, practitioners, you know, we're very diverse, and, you know, we're all different nationalities, and we come from different paths.
I want to see more. I want to see more.
Yeah, you know, and that's okay. I'll kind of touch on that a little bit too, because I think that was one of the most important things in like how we like branded ourselves, right? Like we weren't gonna be. I didn't want to be like, and you talk about this, like, oh, we should be more, or we've talked about this, like we should be like, you know, I don't know, raíces and árboles or something, you know,
no,
like
I did not say that.
I know, but like, you know, something more like a Spanish name, you know, like
I would have loved to have something from our
roots,
our culture in the name.
In the name,
you
I know.
I think it would have been really special to honor that.
Árbol.
You know,
but like
because it was given to us, you know, and so we use that name and continue to use it. And so for me, it was just this feeling of I want to represent
To be
more,
our
you know,
own.
to be loud, because again, we've been taught, calladita,
Yeah.
and I see that.
Calladita, te ves
más
más bonita.
I see so much power in that,
No me
for sure,
callo.
absolutely. And I so much of me like wants that, but then I also see spaces that like only attract, you know, whatever their people is, right? Like if it's if it's like a LGBTQ plus IA, you know, space or whatever, then only
Was that Spanish?
Was that no.
Say that in Spanish now.
What?
LGBTQ plus IA.
That
know.
is like,
That's it, right?
Is that how you say it in
that's
Spanish
next
too?
level.
All right, it says
Okay, it's okay.
or like
It's okay, relax.
but what I'm saying is that like then they only attract the people of
Yes.
those
That's
people,
a fair
right?
point.
Like
Yes.
you know, if it's like becomes like a caucus space group focus only, and then what I see is then okay, cool, like you're being you're being inclusive and like you're creating a space for that. But then you're still kind of separating yourself because you're like now creating an inclusive, separated
and maybe
space.
that's their intention. That is what they desire, right? So there are spaces that
I
is
know
their
that.
intention.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that here,
We want
what
everyone.
I really wanted to represent and stand for is for all people.
That's right.
You know, like
So that's why you're saying to keep the healing.
Everyone is welcome.
That's just why it is the way it is,
Yes.
and I never wanted it to be like, oh, we're
El árbol, sí.
el árbol
Yeah.
collective.
La flor, el colectivo. Pues sí dicen, no,
Colectivo,
colectivo.
yeah. You know, because there are other spaces like that do really embrace that in their branding and their,
Of course.
in the
El
name of their-
colectivo del árbol que sana.
Wow.
Ah,
Whatever.
mira. ¿Que la qué?
And I think that's powerful. Again, like it is
Yes.
powerful, and it is very much needed because, and then again, like for the whatever that group is, it does really create that safety for those people. You know?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? Like even having like women's only things, right?
Right.
Like there's power in that. But then
Right.
that also then, that has always made me feel like, okay, cool. You have a women's only, circle, but like, how are you creating something for me as a man? Like,
So if there
we're
was,
not.
if
that's
there
what I
was,
mean. This
if
is
there
a
was a man
women's
one,
only
so-
men's
we're going
haters
to.
club.
Yeah.
no, stop. If there was a man's one, though,
I
would
know.
you not question that?
What? How would I
Like the
question-
women's group, would you not question it? Because you're like, well, how come
Right.
there isn't? No. So
Well,
then
then-
you're saying that that's what it is. It's
then
just that
it's-
you haven't felt seen.
Yeah, I guess.
So we're going to create an event for you.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna start leading those.
Oh, yeah,
men
that's true.
groups,
Not
so
me. I'm the
it's done.
person that-
No, you really
No,
are.
you
though.
will.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Eventually.
you are.
Soon.
So
You are doing
oh,
it.
Wow.
No.
You're attacking me.
No, you literally said
You're
I
going to do
will.
it,
We
Angel.
are.
It's just
We
what
have-
it
It's already in the works.
is.
We just haven't talked about
Las
it yet.
flores,
Oh.
el árbol.
This
He
is,
didn't
we
wanna
haven't announced
announce it
it
yet.
publicly.
Okay.
Oh, keeping
True.
a mystery.
Oh, secret.
Yes, the
Okay.
plan. We are going to be starting a men's group here soon. We will.
Yes.
So yeah, I just
but
think
at the
that
end of the day,
I think
yes.
it's important to represent all
Yes.
people,
Yes.
because that is truly how we heal.
100%.
When black and brown or white, like when we can all see each other and we can all honor like how the whatever generational trauma or racial trauma, whatever it is, like
Yeah.
can we acknowledge all of that and then move forward
Well,
with
yeah.
a new
And work together.
with a
because that
new
is
foresight,
We all know that the first step in healing or change or anything is awareness.
acknowledging,
And
yeah.
yes, acknowledging. And how many of us have grown up to learn how to block it?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we're never going to get anywhere if we're not talking about these things,
Yeah.
So that's another topic.
All
but
people are welcome.
yes,
Yeah.
that is
All.
And like I said, it reflects in our team. We
Yes.
have different people from everywhere.
Right,
You
right.
know? So
Exactly.
we have
Yeah, I feel like I bring that up because I've struggled with it a lot.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
creating the team. Who do
For
we
sure.
hire?
Yeah.
How do we create the brand and all that stuff? Like
So how many classes do we have? What do we offer?
we have like 20, almost like 20.
Yeah.
We started off. It's crazy.
Wait,
If we go
in
back
a month? Are you saying in a month? Yeah, you're saying in a month.
It's crazy because like we'll go there. I still want to go back to how when you started. Real quick question is how do you feel like you've grown from when you started to now?
I think again, like just the way I'm showing up. So before I met you guys, I was doing just one-on-one clients, but I didn't necessarily was diving into classes. So that's a big part. I used to teach classes in the past, like I did Zumba, I did boot camp, I did different things
Whoa,
back in the past.
Bringing another side of
For
Mayuly
sure,
here.
for sure. Stay tuned.
Yes.
So, but so teaching like in a studio like this, I think it has definitely put me in the the space of like. Honestly, I feel like I went through a tremendous amount of transformation 2025, which is the year where I was stepping into deeper work here. So it's like the universe is like, okay, let's go to the next level of your healing and your transformation because you're leading people that way. They're going that way with you. So you have to be in the fire first, and that's the way I chose to, reframe it for myself so I could understand. Because
Why is this
sometimes,
so-
because some days it felt a little off. I'm like, wait, but I'm doing this. Why is this happening? Right? Or I'm doing more of what I love. And then the reflection is different in other areas, right?
Damn.
So I learned that there's nothing wrong with that. There's the universe really trying to help you put you through the fire and really will you step into that. So I think that have been my biggest growth. I'm helping transform people's life, and I'm transforming mine as well. So that is kind of the way I see it.
I've definitely seen you also show up and really use your voice and just
and
go for
sometimes
it.
I'm like, I have no idea what I just said, but I said it. My voice matters. So there you go. Whoever needs to hear it.
It doesn't have to be a production and perfect and
Well, I have Virgo in me, so it has to be perfect.
I have no Virgo in me.
I'm kidding.
I'm like,
if it's perfect,
I think you have some. You should have some.
I have
he
no
definitely
idea.
has Virgo.
He has to. I should
Oh my
check. I'm
god,
gonna check.
for
I
sure.
have no idea.
Yeah, but what were you gonna say? So the classes.
Oh yeah, I mean, just how we started. Like, I mean, we started when we had 80 classes on the calendar when we first started. And then remember, like, if actually on that whiteboard,
I know it's still
the
there.
original calendar is on there.
Wow.
And we had 80 classes on the calendar. And then, like, obviously that's just learning of what it's like to
works and what
freaking work
doesn't.
how to build a studio,
We
because
had
we
no
had no
idea.
idea how to run a studio.
No idea.
And what was going to work, what wasn't going to work. And so quickly that, went down to about then we went down to like 40 classes.
Right.
And still trying to figure that out. We had still like a team of 12, almost 15 practitioners, I think, when we first started.
We technically started with 17.
17? Damn, dude.
Wow.
See, like, trying to start off big. Well,
It's funny now, looking back. Funny, haha. Not
Wow.
really. That we tried
17.
we went so big, and honestly, it was not.
and I was
No
literally
need for that.
A
I
good
was
call.
thinking about that last night, and I was just kind of like pondering all that. I was like, damn, we started with 80 classes, and I was just reflecting on that, because I really felt like people were just gonna come, dude. Like, I had so much freaking like belief, like 0 ounce of doubt that people were just gonna come. That this was something that, like, I finally found like the holy grail of a business that everybody would want to like come and do, and then when we started, it kind of started a little like, and then the evidence though, when we did the demos, like, your demo was packed. Like, I had those
we were
pictures.
like super excited.
Yeah, your demo
like,
was freaking packed in there. The other demos, there's maybe like a couple demos that, maybe 2-3 people, but like, for the most part, the demos were packed. And so even that showed us like, like the people are going to come, and especially with all the 2 years that we had already been here, thinking that everybody that we had already, had built relationships with were going to still be supportive of it all.
Right.
Quickly went out the window, so it went from 80
It was
to,
like starting from scratch.
from 80 to it really did.
So the excitement went away.
It did very quick.
Oh,
Okay, and so it quickly, the excitement quickly went like, holy shit, this isn't what we thought it was, how it was gonna play out. And it became much, much harder with not only like so there's kind of like the internal part, which is like, managing the team, and like, how do we continue to do that and navigate that whole part of the team culture and expectations and all that. And then there's obviously all the customer facing stuff of like, what do we put out there? How do we market all this stuff? How do we get people to come in the door? Like all that. And it felt like
it's a process.
It felt like starting all over again.
It literally
Even though it felt like we had already been here for 2 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was a bit of a slap in the face.
Huge slap in the face. Like, really
That
big.
was rough. That was so rough.
Yeah, now we're down to, I think, 7.
Oh, wow.
I lose the number of
Me too.
the count number of practitioners that are on the team. I think it's about 7.
And then we have how many classes?
I
in
think
the
it's
calendar?
I'm gonna say like 20.
I think it's
around
right
there.
about 20 classes a month.
So we offer
And we offer the
breath work.
It's all of it. Yeah.
We have yoga now.
Yoga,
right?
meditation,
We have yoga back.
Reiki,
Yeah.
meditation, sound bath.
and now we have movement.
Now we're gonna
Movement.
have the movement class.
So yoga, breath work, the sound healing, Reiki, movement, and now tuning forks.
Oh yeah, tuning forks.
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi, and I think that's all of them so far.
I think
Yeah,
so.
you know, and all of them, like,
And even that like has been a process to figure out like
why are we adding, you know, this
Yes.
one, and why
Right.
are we
Yeah.
adding this? You know, we
Yeah.
had, I think one of the like Pilates, you know, we had Pilates here once, and like,
I still want to bring
all
it
right,
back.
like, why are we adding Pilates? You know, because
still
like,
for it.
and how does it still fit in with this idea and this concept of helping people to, I guess maybe come back to self is
Right.
like the, you know, the umbrella, I guess, over it all, like helping people reconnect to self, come back to self, and
You're so funny.
what?
Because when we had first talked about Pilates, you were like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I was
know.
like, I don't know about this.
And I was
Like,
like, yes.
Same with the movement class.
Yes.
it was same thing with movement. I
And I'm
kinda-
like, yes.
Wait, what?
I kind of
Yes.
struggle with that a little bit. Like,
I know.
I don't know about
How
that.
are we
Like,
moving here?
we're not,
Yes.
we're not like a dance studio.
Well,
like,
we're
I
not
know.
claiming to be that.
I know.
Yeah.
So that's why,
and,
like,
and we always end very intentional and
Oh, yeah.
mindfully.
Every
you know?
class has education. Too,
Yes.
I feel like.
yeah.
Yes.
That's a huge piece.
And you know, I'm gonna be the first to say, like, if I could have $1 every time I want to give up, I'd be a millionaire by now.
Dude,
Like, I'll be
give
honest.
up more.
Stop. I'll be honest. I will say that because it has been so hard. And also, it's been beautiful to see. I hate that it takes time. I really do.
Oh, so you're impatient, basically.
Well, yeah, and survival, you know, doesn't last very long.
It takes alignment.
It's not good for my nervous
It takes
system.
alignment.
Thank you. The
Yes.
excitement is not what's gonna.
However,
It takes alignment.
Move forward.
Because
we're going to have to go a different direction for this, and we're not going to touch on this right now. But alignment also should not mean suffering. I said that. So that's the other part that we can talk about in a different podcast. But even though it sucks, and I know I've said this before, if we had, you know, freaking like a bunch of money to back us up as we started this, so
we
different.
need it. I'm going to say this to everybody. You need at least $100K in the bank
Yes.
to start this.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's going to be really hard.
We had
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
And I'm not even going to go into even more. But what I'll say is that, yes, had we been set up differently for this, maybe it wouldn't be me saying I want to give up all the time, you know, because I have to think about me and my family, you know.
Of course.
And so that has been the hardest thing ever. And so, yes, that's why. And that's why I say I hate that it takes time. And I realize that businesses take time. And there's just so much that happens on the other end that is so hard, you know? And we're still here. So we haven't given up.
Right.
And so to be able to see the growth, the evolution, the transformation really has been beautiful. And I feel like with time, we keep refining,
Right.
keep trying, you know? And so it's like, damn, what a journey, you know?
Damn.
And so it's like literally a little bit of everything in the freaking full spectrum, you know? A little bit of everything.
I like that we have
curves.
curse. I like that we have said the word damn. Yeah. Very Latino-like.
Well, we're not like all,
Que vaina.
you know, divine.
No.
It's very
We're very
spiritual.
human.
We're very spiritual
divine.
too.
Hey,
And we're
being
very
spiritual
real.
also means being very real.
Yes,
That's right.
and being authentic
100%.
and not needing
I
to
grew
be
up
a
in the
persona.
lanes, so
Right.
you know this like
God.
profanity
Can't believe you mentioned that.
in the lanes is very normal.
I get in trouble when I,
Yeah?
yeah, because I think people take it too serious. I'm like, I just said fuck. Is that okay? Can you handle it? Can you handle it?
That is
'Cause it's
part
not-
of using our voice.
I'm not trying to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
Moving
No,
on.
But the journey has been crazy. And I always say I'm grateful for the lessons. Like,
Yeah,
I know
me too.
I know in my heart I would not be the person that I am now if I would not have had all this, you know? So
And the journey does not end there.
And I
will
think
not-
I just want to honor both of you because I know that their journey hasn't been fun. But I think very soon, you know, you guys are going to start enjoying it if you're not already. You know, this year has a different tone and we're going in a different direction. So I think we're all going to be fine. But yeah, I just want to say thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
And thank you for talking about showing up.
Yeah.
Holy moly. You're definitely showing up. So thank you for that.
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you for saying that.
And thank you for providing a space for me. And I speak for other, facilitators that are part of the team. Thank you. Because we grow with you,
Yeah.
And thank you for, showing up, basically.
And thank you for
you.
giving
Thank
us the
you.
opportunity to show that it can happen,
Yeah.
that like it really is possible. It's not just like, I don't know, an idea, we wouldn't be able to bring the idea to life if it weren't for people like you that, that are willing to come together, but then also like we've talked about, like staying committed to it. Otherwise we would continue to just deal with people falling off, and then like it's like you get somewhere and then you have to start all over, and then you get somewhere and then you have to start all over, because people just keep leaving or whatever is not in alignment or whatever.
Right.
So thank you for staying consistent, committed, for being willing to not just show up for your classes, but then still for like show up for the healing tree and help us out on our end, and be part of it, like really be part of it, invested into building this company.
Yeah.
In summary, thank you for believing in it as much as we do.
For believing in it. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yes.
For believing in it.
Because we can't do it alone.
More to come.
More to come. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
For sure. Thank you for listening to us.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. That's the ending, because we didn't have a plan on how to end it.
Because we're real like
The
that.
blah, blah, blah podcast.
The blah, blah, blah podcast.
All right. Cool.
Why not? Why not?
Peace out.